Hi, this is Summer with Summer's Tips and Stitches, and this is a yarn chat video. So I'm slowly plugging along. I've been kind of pre-recording these, as in one day I'll do 2 or 3 videos, and so the timing that they'll come out will be in order, but a few days behind. But anyway, I am a week out. I'm pretty much a week from being home, settling with the time change and getting Flynn to the doctor and the heavy smoke pollution from Canada coming down, and things have settled in. I think yesterday was a good full day of not feeling like the headache from the smoke outside, because it has been really foggy here, and not having the time change affect my sleep. So this is a yarn chat video. I wanted to talk about a couple of the things that I made while I was in Alaska, and then on the way home from Alaska, or like, not on the way home, but like when we were in Chicago. Yeah, so I have a few projects to show you, a pattern to share, and then, what is it called? A product that I found, not sponsored, just so you know, that I really enjoyed that I thought would share with you. Okay, so while I was in Alaska, I knitted hats. I had 2 kinds of yarn. Both were, I love this yarn. One was something Oasis, this colorway. I believe I got it in a yarn swap a bit ago. So Ocean Oasis, Sea Oasis, something like that. And then the other one, I don't have any of it left, was Surprise Stripe. And it is a pink one, and I've used it before. It's definitely one of my favorites. I only up till now had crocheted with it. So I brought 2 skeins of yarn, and out of that yarn, I was able to make 3, 4, 5 hats. What? I know. And this is all I have left. I don't think I could make another hat out of this for like a 2nd grader, maybe a baby hat, for sure knitted, not enough to crochet. So I thought I would show you the hats, because partway through I started a new technique. So first, right away, I made 2 of these with the Surprise Stripe, which was a surprise. It's a gray, pink, and white variegated with a little bit of black. And like I said in one of those other videos, variegated yarns, most of them that I found, are made for knitters, because this never happened when I crocheted with this one. Is funny because I got a little black, but never happened when I crocheted with this yarn. So super cute. I made 2 of these. Now, while I was in Alaska, of course, if you guys know, I was staying with family, with my dad's sister and her husband. And then across the street, just down a little bit, was my cousin, her husband, and they have 3 children. And so while I was making hats, of course, these are for my 2nd graders at Christmas time. Those little nuggets, I just fell in love with them. They're just cute, sweet little honeys. I made them hats too. Now, I gave them their hats, so all I can do is insert pictures that I took of the hats. And I think I only took one. Okay, so after I started running out of the pink, I knew I didn't have enough to make a full hat. So what I did is I was trying to start a new technique, something to get ready, because I want to knit Andrea Moiri's Free or Fade. And so I wanted to get used to practicing changing colors, which I'm glad I did, because at first I sucked. So one of the hats, which I'm going to insert a picture of in a moment, I was doing mostly blue Oasis, I believe, and then a few pinks. So I'm going to try to put a picture of that hat in. Yeah, and so I gave that one to my cousin's daughter, which would make her my 2nd cousin. We went over this quite a lot over there about 2nd cousin, 1st cousin, once removed, whatever. It's my cousin's daughter. And then I made a solid Oasis one for my cousin's son. The daughter, I think she was 8, super sweet. Oh, what a little honey. And then my cousin's son, going into 1st grade. Oh my gosh, that kid. I told her when he's ready for 2nd grade, Send him down to Wisconsin. I'll teach him for a year and then give him back. Oh, I love him. But anyway, I made him one solid Oasis, which I don't have a picture of. But then for the last hat, I did the same thing that I did before, but this one is mostly Oasis with a little pink in it. And so what I was doing is I was knitting a row and then switching to the other colors. So the pink and gray is the surprise stripe, and then the blue strands are the Oasis. Right about here, as you see, well, there's the surprise stripe. And then I ran out of the pink, the surprise stripe, and finished with just Oasis. So his hat mostly looked like this colorway. And man, I just love it. And this one is just a mixtured hat. Now, this is why I had to practice. And when I got a little further up, I learned a better technique. Actually, my stepmom helped me because she was doing the same thing. She was knitting with some hand-dyed yarn, and she wanted where the skeins aren't all perfectly the same. And so to avoid like kind of the blocking look, she was rotating. And so what she helped me with this a technique to figure out how to hide, because what was happening here is you get this weird little thing, this join where you are changing from one color to another. And so she looked up this video and she found this technique, and then she showed it to me. And so then when I got a little higher up, you can't see where I was changing. You can't really see it there as much. Plus it also happened at a joint. Wait, that's the wrong place. So so I made 2 plain hats, 1 plain Oasis, and 2 mixed hats. And it was fun. I mean, that's, like I said, we ran out of yarn there. I should have brought more than 2 skeins, but to be fair, I was not in Alaska to knit, right? But of course, it was very rainy there. I don't know if I mentioned, like there was maybe 2 or 3 days where it didn't rain at all. But the rain was a very different rain than what we have here. Here in Wisconsin, when it rains, you are going to get soaked. A raincoat is not going to help. But up there, it was like, have you ever been walking past a splash pad? And you're not in the splash pad, but you're near it. You're there with your kids or your nieces or your friends or whatever, babysitting. And you kind of feel the mist of the splash pad blow on you from the water. That's what I felt like the rain was in Alaska. Like you never got soaked, but you just felt the mist of the rain. So anyway, with all of that being said, we did go out, but okay. Now, one of the things when I was hanging out with my aunt or whatever, she had made some kind of comment. I don't know if she was serious about it, that she needed some pot holders. So I was like, hey, I can make her some. I have this pattern hack that I got off of Ravelry a couple years ago, and I actually made a video on it. The first time I made these patterns, I used Caron cakes in kind of a bluish, I can't remember what it was called, but it has like a creamy color, a sandy color, and a light sea green color. And I can put a link in the description to the previous review of this pattern. Maybe watch it, see what I say different. But these are Granny RR dishcloths. Now, even though they're dishcloths, with the ones I made for myself, I only did 1 layer, and I don't use them as dishcloths because I used them as cotton. I use them as, I don't want to say pot holders, but you know, you put them on your table, and if your pot's hot, you stick it on top of there. Is that a pot holder? I mean, it's holding a pot. But anyway, I use 1 layer, and I have those upstairs, and I used a cotton cake. This is one of the patterns you can make, and it's a pattern pack. And I want to say it was free because I typically don't pay for them. This is another one of the patterns, and you can sort of see in here how there is a popcorn stitch. I'll get to that in a second. And I made those first 2. And then here's the third, I believe, in the final one. The other really cool thing about these, again, here's that popcorn stitch, is you could make a bunch of these, especially if you did the square, and you could make a blanket out of it. You could probably, you probably can't. Okay, so, I was going to say you could probably do it with one of those other shapes, but it might be hard. You might have to fill it in. But anyway, so instead of making dishcloths, I made pot holders, which meant I made 2 of the same and then sewed them together. This is the first one that I made, and this one I am using, where's my bag? I'm using a Hobby Lobby yarn for this one. Here it is. I'm using Yarn Bee Sugar Wheel Cotton, 100% cotton in the colorway Lucia Lagoon. After making essentially 4, this is how much I have left. I keep thinking I want to get myself a scale. So like I said, this is the first one that I made. Now on this one I chose, it does give you the option to not do the popcorn. So I wanted you to see this is what it looks like if you don't do the popcorn. It just has that pinwheel. And one of the things that I do whenever I do something like this, or even a blanket crocheted in the round, I always make sure that the center is perfect, because these color changing yarns, sometimes you'll get it like right in the middle, and I feel like the center, if that is complete, it kind of tricks your eyes as you get bigger into thinking all of them are complete. So for this one, when I saw that I was about to change colors, I cut it, which is called color controlling, and then I went to the new color so that the center, but as you'll see on some of these other, and I'll show you, I didn't color control at all, just only in the center. And then this is the back one, and you can kind of see that like right about, where is it? Right about, well, it's so well hidden in the colors. You can sort of see that I did not do perfect in my color controlling, because down here it looks a little wider, and then here it's somewhere in here it changed, either here or here. But this is one side, this is a separate dishcloth, and this is the other dishcloth. And then I just, after I made one, I cut it and finished off and weaved in my ends. And then when I made the second one, I did a single crochet border joining them. You can kind of see that single crochet border there that's joining them. So this is one pot holder. I love it. This one mostly came out blue. And then this one, I did the popcorn stitch in the middle. And I made it bigger in case she has a bigger pot, yo. Again, I didn't really have to do much color controlling on this one because it just came out so nicely. And then this one is all the brown, all the blue. Again, I probably should not have done the popcorn on this side because I feel like this looks like the top and that could have been the back. But I did it anyway. You can just put it down. So I made her these 2 pot holders, kind of like a thank you for having us stay with you. Yeah, these patterns are extremely easy to read. This is not written by like a company. You know the difference when you're like reading a Red Heart pattern, no offense Red Heart, versus a pattern written by someone else. It's very clear verbiage, if you will. It explains, you know, specifically what you're going to do. And so I followed these pretty easily on the way to Chicago, and where we live, getting to Chicago, I want to say was like 3 hours. Let me see here. I made 2 on the way there, started one in the evening at the hotel, and then finished the half in the one. I think I finished it all on the way there and back. We drove down there on a Sunday night. We spent the night, woke up the next morning, went to the doctor's appointment. It was 1 hour, drove back, and I had 4 of these done. And I just actually, before this video, weaved in the last end. But it was the same technique. I made 2 of the exact same dishcloth, and I sewed them together. They are a little floppy, but I think that, you know, they'll be good. They're nice and soft. So that is everything that I've made. I knitted a little and I crocheted a little. Now, the last thing I'm going to tell you about is a product that I have found. So, just a second, drink. Okay, I feel personally that when I'm doing a lot of knitting or crocheting, especially with acrylic yarn, my hands get really dry. And so I'm always looking for a good hand lotion. Now, once I got a super great hand lotion in one of my crochet societies. It was like my 2nd or 3rd box, February. And I was devastated when I ran out of it because I loved it so much and Crochet Society couldn't get me anymore. But anyway, I found this really great Dragon Body Butter. This is the business card. Put on my little thingies here so I can read it. This is handmade in somebody's kitchen. It's I got it from somebody I knew, but you can purchase these at like a farmer's market. And she was a nurse or is a nurse, but retired from nursing and wanted to make a really good body butter. Now, if you look on her website, which I'll put a link in the description below, she explains how she started getting into it and now it's her obsession. But it's it's called www.dragon-butter.com. And she makes these at home in her own kitchen. It is a very wonderful cream. And apparently it's also good. She doesn't use alcohol perfumes. She uses essential oils. So it has some of the things that she puts in here are good for people with psoriasis and eczema or sensitive skin. And I actually tried it out on my son because if any of you remember, Jaron has terrible psoriasis. And he's on a shot now, a medication, and you don't actually see it, but his skin is still very sensitive to perfumed lotions. And so we still have to be very careful because they kind of burn. But this is a whipped body butter. She makes it with essential oils and it's all safe and natural and organic, but it does not burn Jaron's skin. But the thing that I love about it, it is highly perfumed smelling, but it doesn't burn Jaron's skin like some of the other perfumed lotions. And after you've rubbed it in your hands, because, you know, you're playing with your yarn, it absorbs your moisture, your hands are really dry, it doesn't give you that greasy, oily feeling. It almost feels like it's invisible. I don't know how to explain it. My husband really likes it because sometimes I get really bad leg cramps at night. And yes, I am trying to eat more bananas, but I just don't like them. And he was giving me like a calf massage on the back, and he did not like the feeling of like my Bath and Body Works on his hands. He actually washes his hands after he uses them. And he used this the other day and he said it felt great on his hands. He didn't feel like he was gooey after doing it. So like I said, she does have a website. She does sell a big bottle, a big pot, a medium pot, and sample pots. I guess she also is selling like lip glosses and things like that, but I haven't tried it. I'm just talking about this cream because it is so nice on your hands, and I don't think it's going to I don't feel like it's getting my yarn gooey after I'm using it, but it also is keeping my hands moisturized. And they're so soft. It's such a soft, smooth feeling. So if you have sensitive skin and perfumed lotions burn you, burn your skin, irritate your skin, try this Dragon Body Butter. Or if you just like a whipped, organic, natural product, give it a try. And all of us crafters know what it's like to make something and really feel good about it and want others to buy it, right? So I thought I'd give her a little shout out. Dragon Butter Body, and then I'll put it here so if you can, Dragon Butter Body Butter. Remember, it's www.dragon-butter.com. I'll put a link in the description. You can order from her website. You can read about her product, read about why she made it, all that good stuff. And I want to say the big one was like 22, but the smaller ones were 8 and 4. And it really does go well. I mean, my husband rubbed my back and my calves, and I use this quite a bit. Now, I don't know what size this is. I tried to read the bottom with the tiny print. I couldn't tell if this was the 8 ounce or what size ounces this was. Maybe I'll peel back the sticker to see what size this container was. It doesn't say on it. Yeah, it just says 4-6B. So I honestly have no idea. I'm going to guess. I mean, I know how much 2 ounces of makeup is. So I'm going to guess this is probably the bigger size. But give it a shot if you're interested in trying something that's made by someone, that's homemade, organic, good for your skin, and then helps a small business owner, and you're in the market for it. Try a little dragon butter. There were so many scents. I of course love, my favorites are roses and lavenders and florals. I got a vanilla for Maddie. Maddie likes those sugary scents. They also have some man smells. I don't remember the names of the man smells. And they also said that it helps with stinky feet. And let me tell you, I have 3 fellas in this house with some extremely stinky feet. And I've been lubing up their feet with it. Just seeing, I will try anything. Oh, I don't know if you've ever been in the car with one of your sons or grandsons or nephews, drive them home after practice. Ugh. Or a game. Smells terrible. All right. Well, you guys, that is my yarn chat. Little knit, little crochet, little body butter for our dry hands after, you know, when you're in the thick of a project and your hands are getting dry from touching all that yarn. Or if you live in a dry state like I do. Yeah, that's all. Moving along. I'm not exactly sure what my next project will be. I am trying to get ahead on my hats because, as you know, I give those out for Christmas, and once the school year starts, I don't have a lot of time. I ordered my new teacher planner from the Teaching Texan, so even though many of you are yarny friends, I'm still going to show you all my teacher planner because I love it so much, and you can personalize them. But yeah, that is all for this video. Thanks for watching. Thanks for liking and subscribing. Thanks for sharing my videos. And until the next video, happy crafting. Bye.